So Bobby might have one left, so he can break his arm again.
Good grief. Sorry, I'll have a mental block for a minute then. Thank you all very much for coming. I'm, as one Glasgow photographer often says, I'm deeply moved and touched that you've all come to hear me tonight. This has been the culmination of about 4 years' work. It doesn't look like it, but I'm a slow developer and was my well-thumbed copy, which I took with me on the road on my Highland journey. Now, Scottish Journey is not particularly well known as a book. It's known about, but not very often read. And in fact, Muir himself really only doesn't refer to it at all in his autobiography. It's clearly not a work that he felt particularly proud of. But I thought it was fascinating, and it did begin to spark this idea that, well, if Muir had a camera with him, you know, it would be wonderful to see photographs of his journey in 1934. It was a particularly interesting time between the wars, between one sort of cataclysmic world war and another, and it was a time when Scotland was going through huge industrial change. So I thought it would be interesting to make a snapshot of Scotland in 2006. Now, in fact, I planned to do a whole Scottish journey, just as Edwin Muirs. I purchased a second-hand camper van. It had to be, yeah, it's great, isn't it? It had to be small enough to negotiate Highland roads, but large enough that it would have a shower compartment that I could convert into a darkroom. Because what I planned here was something that I intended to be radically traditional. I've always considered myself to be part of a tradition in photography, part of mainly a portrait tradition. So this is the van of King Jussi, and you see it's a very humble van compared to these enormous, vulgar German motorhomes in the background, but it served me very well over 3 or 4 months. And this is the interior of the van. I like to show it off proudly to you. This is my developing equipment, and of course, not completely ignoring the digital age. I also had a scanner with me so that I could develop sheets of film, scan them on the road so that I could get instant feedback about what I was getting. So note the same MacBook, note the cigarettes, the rolling tobacco, and the scanner. This is a boy that I met at a rock concert at Cuddy Point in Stornoway on Lewis. This documentary stuff I've never really done before. I've never gone up to people and said, can I take your photograph? With the exception of once when I hijacked the rock singer Steve Earle outside the Usher Hall and asked him if I could take his photograph. But other than that, I've never done it. So I photographed these kids at this rock concert, and I thought, that's great. You know, this boy in particular, I thought he was just fantastic, with the makeup on his eyes and his Nicholson Institute jacket and his torn jeans. I think it was perfect. Alan McRae was one of the founding members of the Ascent Crofters Trust. In 1992, they made land reform history by buying the North Lochinver estate from the landowner, an absentee landowner. Remember at this time, prior to 1992, most of Scotland was owned by mainly absentee landlords. So this was absolute land history when this man and 2 of his friends organised this buyout of the landowner.